Well, hello, my name is Lachlan Reynolds. I am the General Manager of Exploration for Caravel Minerals, and it is my pleasure to provide you with an introduction and an overview to Caravel Minerals for the 1-to-1 APAC Mining Investment Conference. I'm not going to have time in this short video to be able to cover every slide in this presentation, which is available to you for download, but hopefully enough to give you an overview of the company and of the opportunities for investment that Caravel Minerals offers. So to start, subject to the usual disclaimers and statements, let me provide you with a corporate overview. The company is ASX listed with the ticker code CVV. The company has approximately 250 million shares on issue, and at its current price, a market cap of around $25 to $30 million over the last few weeks. The company currently has about $2 million in cash and zero debt. And you can see that we've had a fairly rapid price appreciation in the last couple of months. This we largely attribute to the fact that the copper market and copper price has been strengthening. And obviously we'd like to think there's been a recognition of what Caravel Minerals can offer. And in particular, we have been increasing our portfolio of exploration projects in the southwest of Western Australia, which is an area with very strong interest at the moment since the discovery of a number of ore bodies, in particular the Julimar nickel PGE deposit, which is currently being delineated by Charles Gold. On this slide, you can also see the board and management team of the company. It's a small board, well structured, well experienced, and we also provide you there with an ownership analysis. You'll see the top 20 own a substantial proportion, and management also a large stake in the company itself. Now, Caravel Minerals really is operating on, I guess, in two different ways at the moment. One is that we are developing the Caravel Copper Project. The other is our exploration portfolio, and the two do merge together to a degree. But please bear in mind that the company is an advanced developer of a copper project, as well as being an explorer with a very exciting portfolio of projects through the southwest of Western Australia. Very briefly, because this is more of an overview, the Caravel Copper Project is located. This is our flagship project. It's ideally situated about 150 kilometres northeast of Perth. It is one of the Western Australia's largest, if not the largest, undeveloped copper projects. It offers a large-scale, long lifetime mining development in close proximity to very good infrastructure, and it has a large resource which currently stands at about 660 million tonnes at approximately 0.3% copper, for a total of 1.86 million tonnes of contained copper. And there are some credits associated with that, in particular molybdenum and some gold and silver credits as well. The company has been working on the Caravel Copper Project for some years. It has reached scoping study level, and that scoping study has provided us with a great deal of encouragement that we have a viable mining development, and work is continuing on feasibility level studies into the Caravel development of the Caravel Copper Project itself. Now, that mining operation comprises a simple open pit bulk mining proposition The mineralogy of the deposit is such that a very much typical, straightforward and simple processing operation produces a clean copper concentrate, largely chalcopyrite, with, as I said, credits from moly, silver and gold. The project is perfectly positioned with access to good road infrastructure, power, water, and is also ideally located for shipment of concentrate to established ports which have facilities to handle that material. This slide summarises some of the project advantages. It is a very low capital intensity type project by virtue of a simple and straightforward bulk mining open pit opportunity, the fact that the process plant is uncomplicated, that there is excellent infrastructure, that there is available local workforce and good community support. It is very much summarised with these bullet points on the right-hand side of the slide, noting though that Western Australia is now regarded as the #1 mining investment jurisdiction according to the Fraser Institute of 2019. So the project is very attractive. We feel it warrants ongoing feasibility work, and studies are continuing into that, subject to funding, of course. The information regarding the scoping study is included within an information booklet, which is available for download from 1-to-1. Just touch briefly here on the mineral resource. The Caravel project is based around what we believe is a large porphyry copper system. It is ancient. It's Archean, about 2.9 billion years old. It has been substantially modified after that time by structural deformation, metamorphism, and today occurs as tabular but folded zones of coarse-grained chalcopyrite mineralisation with some supplementary sulfides. But otherwise, a very simple mineralogy of copper mineralisation hosted within a quartzo-feldspathic gneissic rock interpreted to have been in a series of intrusives. And mineralisation is contained within sulfide-bearing quartz veins, and the grade within the deposit tends to vary simply as a function of the abundance of those veins. You can see the details of the mineral resource. This resource is contained within 3 deposit areas with additional exploration upside available to us to continue expanding that resource and also to make new discoveries in the mineralised trend at Caravel, all of which will add further value to the feasibility studies. Now, as far as exploration, it can be split, as I mentioned, into 2 streams. One is brownfield exploration at Caravel itself, where there has been an identified upside by the addition of relatively small tonnages of higher grade material, and by that I mean around 0.5% copper. And a number of target areas have been identified close to the existing resources and proposed infrastructure, and I will elaborate on those a little more. Second aspect of our work is regional exploration. There has been a substantial uptick in the interest in exploration of the South West Yilgarn terrane. A lot of that has been driven by recent discoveries, and Caravel are in the position to be able to use its proprietary databases to help us identify and select what we consider to be prospective targets throughout the Southwest. This process started 18 months ago, and a number of new tenement applications have now been made, and we're waiting for those to be granted. We expect to be able to advance exploration on those regional targets in the latter part of 2020 and into 2021 and beyond. I'd like to just emphasise that we consider the South West Yilgarn terrane to be an emerging mineral province. The recent discovery of the Julimar nickel and PGE deposit to the northeast of Perth has been a huge catalyst. Julimar is a very different style of deposit to Caravel, but nonetheless it highlights the exploration potential. The company has identified a number of targets, which you can see on the diagram here, which is an image of the gravity in the southwest of Western Australia. And of course, this region also contains a number of very significant deposits, in particular the Boddington gold copper mine. We believe that we have proprietary data sets which give us an advantage, as I said. Caravel was discovered using simple surface geochemistry, and we've applied the same principles along with our interpretation of regional magnetics and the influences that we interpret from our regional tectonic interpretation to help us apply for a series of targets which we believe have potential for more copper deposits, but also magmatic nickel sulfide deposits and potentially associated with platinum group elements. There is also potential for gold in this terrane, which has not been comprehensively explored in the past. To round out this introductory presentation, I'd just like to talk about Brownfields Exploration. You can see on the right-hand side, the diagram, it shows the distribution of the deposits at the Caravel Copper Project. The current resource exists in 3 deposits across what is approximately a 30-kilometre trend of mineralised material. And we have the potential, or we have identified that there is potential for the discovery of higher grade material, which can be included early into a possible mine schedule. And we are looking for opportunities that are of a grade of around 0.5%. They're close to the existing mine layout, near surface, and therefore with low stripping ratios, and an overall target of about 30 million tonnes. Drilling has actually already commenced on a number of these targets, and we'll be progressing that work as we can during 2020, and again in support of ongoing feasibility studies in 2021. We have numerous targets, many of which we're yet to fully work through, but the initial target areas present us with a great opportunity, and there will be results flowing from drilling programs that have been completed at Ninan and at Dasha in the coming weeks and months. Drilling at the Opie deposit, which is at the south, is likely to occur late this year or in early 2021. In terms of our regional exploration, as I said, the prospectivity of the southwest region has been probably underestimated, and recent discoveries underline the prospectivity potential. Julimar deposit, recent discovery by Chalice Gold, is shown on the diagram here, which is a regional magnetic image, and in terms of its proximity to the Caravel Copper Project. As I mentioned, they're different styles of deposits, but they highlight the fact that this area, which is underexplored, it is mostly farmland with very little outcrop, is a region which has not been extensively explored and contains a number of new opportunities which we are looking to exploit. And that recognition of prospectivity has caused a pegging rush through the southwest. And on this diagram, what I've shown are granted tenements in green and applications in blue. You can see that there are many areas that have been pegged and are awaiting grant. Chalice Gold in particular has taken up a lot of ground from Perth through to the town of Moora. Most of this is to the west of Caravel's project, looking for a different style of mineralisation. Other companies, especially Anglo-American, have pegged vast areas to the south and to the southeast of Caravel. Nonetheless, the company has been in a position to react quickly and has secured a number of projects that have been in evaluation since 2018. As I said, these are copper, gold and nickel PGE exploration opportunities. We have, as I mentioned, a proprietary geochemical database which covers much of the southwest. This does include some publicly available information, but a huge amount of data within it comes from previous sampling by companies prior to Caravel. We now have all that data, and the pulps are all in storage and available. The main focus of the work was gold. Nonetheless, copper deposits at the Caravel project were discovered through this process, and particularly with the recognition that relatively small or low tenor geochemical anomalies were important, and something that the company has been able to more fully understand as exploration and development work has continued on the Caravel Copper Project itself. We are able to use our knowledge of the regolith, and there is a diagram here showing how complicated it can be. Bearing in mind that this samples taken across this kind of section would sample material from different profiles with a different kind of geochemical response, and we are utilising the information we have available to us to both identify and prioritise the areas that we wish to investigate. We also think that we have a very good handle on how to effectively explore, which is something that can be done in a cost-effective and rapid way. A large part of the work is through areas with excellent logistics and year-round access, largely farmland, so collaboration with landholders is an important part of our exploration effort. And this work has culminated in a series of new exploration projects. Given the length of this introductory video, I won't go into these in detail, but there are slides within the overall presentation which you're welcome to review, and I'm happy to answer questions if you would like to organise a virtual interview. The projects themselves from north to south are our Dalwallinu target to the north of Caravel, on an interpreted extension of the trend which hosts the Caravel copper deposits. Dalwallinu is a known copper and gold geochemical anomaly at a regional scale, and given that it comprises a number of different granitoids, a very active history of granite intrusion, we think that it has certainly potential for finding more mineralisation like what we see at Caravel Copper Project itself. To south of this is the Brookton project. Brookton Township is close to the actual tenement area. This is another base metal prospect with similarities to the Caravel deposits. There are known Gossan outcrops at Brookton that have never really been followed up with effective drilling to test for hypogene mineralisation, something that we obviously are keen to advance. Further to the south, we go through our Congellan project, which is a relatively small but very interesting, intriguing, even magnetic anomaly with no prior exploration. The Moody Arup project is located a long strike from the Boddington gold copper mine and contains copper and gold targets that we've derived from our regional databases. And finally, far to the south is the Tilbury project, which is primarily a nickel and PGE copper target with close similarities to the intrusion at Julimar. Very obvious in the regional magnetics and with elevated copper, nickel and PGE geochemistry. I should note that the majority of the tenements that we've acquired are still applications. They are expected to be granted early in 2021, and then our exploration program on these targets will begin in earnest. The ongoing work program for Caravel is really twofold. One is the Caravel Copper Project itself, which is moving into feasibility studies, and we are looking for completion of a pre-feasibility study by the end of 2021. At the moment, that continues with low-cost, critical path and long lead type activities. The company is continuing to engage with potential funding partners for that copper project. And at the same time, there is some targeted drilling to test the upside in current resource models. And in particular, noted there is one of the limbs at the Bindi deposit, where there is, at the moment, still insufficient drilling to fully understand the full resource potential. There is also a Brownfield Exploration program, as I mentioned, testing for higher grade resources close to the existing deposits. Priority sites at the Ninan and Dasher deposits for RC percussion drilling have been identified, and in fact a 4,000 metre program of drilling has been completed over the last month, and we are expecting the results of that drilling to start flowing in the next few weeks. We do expect that there will be a maiden resource for the Ninan prospect, and that's something that we anticipate will add value to the ongoing feasibility studies and also options as far as mine scheduling. The regional exploration, as we've been discussing, will look in the first instance to progress our land access consents on all the new project areas. There will be initial auger or air core drilling programs to test some of the regolith geochemistry in these target areas. Also, there's very limited geological information, so that drilling will provide some critical information regarding the rock types and therefore also the prospectivity of those areas. There will be follow-up work, and that will be probably in the latter part of 2021 on areas that we've identified as obviously having higher priority for mineralisation. And it is our objective to try and make some additional new discoveries that will complement the work that's currently undergoing at Caravel Copper Project itself. So the summary is for the company and its investment opportunity is that the Caravel Copper Project has the potential to become a long life, low cost, and very low risk copper producer. In our minds, that's a company making project. There is the opportunity for upside at the existing deposits and also for additional extensions to resources and indeed new discoveries along the mineralised trend, as it is not all equally well tested. More regionally, there have been recent discoveries which have very much ramped up the interest in exploration opportunities. We are leveraging our knowledge and our existing assets to secure new exploration areas that we think have strong potential. We're targeting for porphyry coppers like at Caravel, but also for magmatic nickel copper PGEs targets. we're well positioned, having been in this terrain for a number of years, and our initial work programs have commenced. And as stated, there are numerous targets and that will be tested over coming months, and we expect to have an ongoing news flow associated with that work. So thank you for viewing this video. I hope that the Caravel opportunities interest you enough to go forward with setting up a meeting. I'm more than happy to answer any specific queries that you have. Obviously, this presentation has been a little bit more directed towards the exploration side of our business, but there is also ample opportunity to discuss the potential for the Caravel Copper Project as a mining development, and I can certainly put any interested parties into contact with the right people to discuss those in more detail. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your attention, and I look forward to meeting you virtually as part of the one-to-one APAC Mining Investment Conference. Thank you.